I want to go back to the other three. Can you talk about how you're funding your operations? Have you applied for grants, and if you're willing to share some numbers on how much you've gotten so far and that sort of thing?
Sure. No, I've applied for one of your grants.
Mm-hmm.
I've applied for in Oklahoma, it's the
Ethics and Excellence in Journalism.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Applied at the Surdna Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
However, we were just told by them they don't do this anymore.
They just,
we got in
they just got out of that line of business, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So actually, I mean, the money that I've got right now is some money was given to me by Michael Connolly, who's the author, best-selling author. He used to work down here with us at the Sun Sentinel years ago, and he's graciously, he doesn't live here, he hasn't lived here in 20 years, but he knows the problem, and he wants to see good journalism, so he's giving us a little bit of seed money. But that's it for us right now, so we're kind of hoping that you guys come through for us. Because I got to be frank with you, I don't know how long I can continue to do this. I mean, I'm going to do it for a while. I've got some people working with me, but there comes a point. I mean, I've been unemployed now for 6 months, and there comes a point where you can't do it anymore. So you try and see what happens. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping too. We got on the site that we started today, we have a PayPal button for people that want to contribute, and we'll see how it goes. It's pretty much going to be not month to month, but every couple of months we're going to have to reassess as we go forward.
Carol, how about you?
I think it might help if I say, from the beginning, I knew what I wanted to do, but wasn't sure whether to go about it by incorporating or becoming a nonprofit. And so I talked to many people, and this was before the recession, so that factored in. Thank goodness I didn't take an equity loan on my house. I decided that the nonprofit model was, with all its faults, going to work best, because when I was on the editorial board of the Orlando Sentinel, I had gotten to know many people very well at the Winter Park Health Foundation. So I heard through the grapevine that they were thinking about doing like an online research consortium to get out important health policy news. Well, frankly, who's going to read that? So I went to my friend at the Winter Park Health Foundation. I told her what I was doing. And I said, I think that what you want to do probably fits pretty well with what my vision is, but what I'm doing is journalism. It's not just a list of health studies. It's very different. I was lucky. I have 3 journalists, including one. He used to be at the Palm Beach Post. Phil Gallowitz is a friend of mine, and he's on my board. And let's see, I've got a professor from University of Florida, journalism. So several journalists on my board. So that keeps the others, the academics, the nonprofit people, from wanting to do non-journalism things. I mean, they speak up and say, no, you don't want to do that. So anyway, I got funded enough for a pilot. Each foundation, each little health foundation of 3. This woman at the Winter Park Health Foundation, Lisa Portelli, was so wonderful. She contacted her friends at other little foundations around the state and said, if we each kick in a little bit of money, because here's a secret about foundations you may not know, they have discretion, their staff does, to make little grants without having to go through this whole big grant-making process and go before the board. And that's what takes so long. They can sort of jump on a dime if a bunch of them kick in a little money, and that's what they did. And so we started with a pilot project with a half-time editor. I was lucky because my best friend was just retiring that year, and so she agreed to be a half-time editor. And we only had 1 page. It was a very simple product that first year in 2007. And we launched the first week of the legislature because we knew that people wanted to keep up with health issues in the legislature. And that helped us get a really fast start. And to this day, more than half our readers, or about half our readers, are in Tallahassee. Or are state employees around the state. They really want to stay up with what's happening on health policy, on Medicaid, on public health issues, all of those things. they liked what we did so much, even though it was so crude, really, now that I look back at it. And I was working nights and weekends on it and early mornings. I mean, every waking hour that I wasn't a reporter at the Tampa Tribune, I was doing this. And so they liked it. And so they got 4 more little foundations to kick in some money. So we were able to actually start. I was able to leave the Trib in '07 November and do this full time. And we have grown to now we have 5 pages, I think, or 6 if you include Week in Review. We're like an online newspaper because we have a home page that carries both the national headlines, a separate thing on the latest health reform news. We have a whole list of summaries and links to the best stories around the state, but we also do our own copy, and we passed a milestone shut me up if I'm not talking too much. We passed a milestone last week. It was the first time we had all 3 of our top stories were ones we produced with our reporters and correspondents, and I mean we have no full-time reporters. It's me and our freelancers, and finding somebody who understands the healthcare system to be a reporter for you, I will tell you, is tough. And I try to train people, and it's a full-time job to train people too. And I take interns. We get interns from universities I have an intern at the University of Florida that I have never met. She gets up every morning at 7 a.m. and works with me online, and I still haven't met her. It's the craziest system. It's been
How did you get her?
We put something in the daily e-alert saying that we were looking for interns, and word of mouth, she found us. I have one at Duke who does the weekend searches and postings for me, who is excellent. And so I find these great people, and they can work from anywhere, and that's terrific. I mean, one of my I took 3.
Do they get credit?
What?
Do they get credit or for school?
I pay them.
Oh,
I pay them. I don't pay them. They're not going to get rich, but I pay them.
I'm trying to hook up with Nova Southeastern. They've said that they're interested in having interns work with us.
Do
So
that. I
think
haven't had
that's,
any luck with
you know,
USF, but if you don't have any luck with your local university, which I haven't, reach out to UF or to